What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and almost a year before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier for Major League Baseball, a man from Lincoln Heights suited up for the Los Angeles Rams and did the same in the NFL. I'm talking about Kenny Washington, who became the first African American athlete to play a modern era professional sport. So why aren't we talking about him more? Let's get into it. So Kenny Washington was born in Lincoln Heights in 1918, and he attended Lincoln High School where he played both baseball and football. He was raised by his whole family, including his uncle Roscoe Washington, who happened to be the first black lieutenant in the history of the LAPD. The family enjoyed the younger Washington's success as he went on to attend UCLA, where he again played both baseball and football. Washington was an immediate baseball star at UCLA, where he was actually rated higher than Jackie Robinson, who was his teammate at the time. But it was on the gridiron where he starred as both tailback and quarterback, and he became UCLA's first consensus All-American in football in 1939. George Halas, the coach of the Chicago Bears at the time, wanted to sign Washington, but the NFL refused to integrate. First, Washington followed his uncle's footsteps and became an officer for the LAPD. But the call of football was too strong, so soon he signed with the Bears, the Hollywood Bears of the Pacific Coast Professional Football League, a football minor league, where he starred and would be the highest paid player for the next 5 years. But as luck would have it, in 1946, the Cleveland Rams decided to move to Los Angeles, where they wanted to play in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, a publicly owned and taxpayer-funded venue. Because the project was funded by both black and white taxpayers, the Rams faced pressure to integrate. So in March of 1946, they offered a contract to Kenny Washington, and he became the first modern-era African-American professional athlete. Now, by this point, Washington was 27 years old and coming off of his 5th knee surgery, so he wasn't the same electric player he was when he was at UCLA. But he was still an impact player, and on October 20th, he scored his first touchdown, a significant milestone in the integration of professional sports, and he did it right here in Los Angeles. Now, Washington and his bulky knees only lasted a few more years in the NFL, but his final game in 1948, 80,000 people in the stands gave Washington a standing ovation. Unfortunately, Washington passed away in 1971 with very little fanfare. His story was virtually ignored by the NFL for decades, perhaps because football wasn't as big as baseball until about the 1990s, or perhaps because he only played 3 years in the league. Now, posthumously, Kenny Washington is starting to receive a little bit more attention, but his story really should be celebrated. He was a true trailblazer and pioneer, and the first professional African-American athlete in the modern era from right here in Los Angeles. All right, LA, it's been a minute.